I may be a bit of an outlier when it comes to how I'm dealing with a terminal diagnosis. But I'm actually not surprised that I got cancer. I was so not surprised that I drove myself to radiology and I drove myself to the doctor's appointments, and I'm thinking, this is probably cancer. I'm not surprised that, I'm ready. Whatever they tell me, I'm ready. And in fact, then, I went through the whole process, and first the x-ray and then the CAT scan, and fortunately the PET scan never happened. They put terrible metals into your brain if you're going to get the PET scan. And then I did get friends to go with me to the oncologist's appointment. And in the end, it was, okay, I've got this much lung on my left side and this much lung on my right side and this whopping great tumor right on my airway. And I'm thinking, I know I'm not going to do the immunotherapy, but, we saw we figured out if I was eligible for one of them. I was eligible for one of them. The insurance company would have had to pay for one of them, but it's such a new immunotherapy that they don't have long-term statistics because the whole therapy is only 5 years old. So I went right into, I'm going to work on ease and acceptance and find out what palliative care and hospice care are. And so there was almost from the outset an acceptance, which made me almost like a scientist or a student of my own cancer rather than somebody who had to deal with a life fraught with maybe denial or people trying to convince me otherwise or anything. I just got right on board with accepting it. But the reason that I was not surprised that I got this cancer was that my life story, and particularly my history with school gardening and organic gardening and founding the suppers programs, is that I've been battling the effects of heavy metal exposure at least since I was 14 years old. I had no idea that my problem was from the mercury and silver amalgam fillings until decades later. But from the time I was 14 or 15 years old, I was having abdominal pain, I was having digestive pain, I was having all kinds of medical issues in the presence of a life that was a completely normal, average, happy, middle-class family with well-educated parents who loved me, and the whole thing didn't make any sense. So I was a nervous wreck from the time they even put me on barbiturates, phenobarbital, when I was 14 years old. The school nurse was appalled when she found out that that was the case. But anyway, ulcer diets and the rest of it. Then in my early 20s, I did some testing on a national health survey, and they found out that I was a universal allergy reactor, meaning that when they raised the wheels all up and down your arms, I reacted to everything, including the saline solution, which is supposed to be the negative control. So we knew that I had a haywire immune system, but nobody could figure out why. Fast forward a few more years. I have these full-blown panic attacks to the point where I'm so crumpled up, it takes me 3 days to pull out my muscles and start breathing normally again. Really with triggers in the emotional world, which just didn't seem to justify having this, but these emotional triggers were happening on a body that was the terrain that was perfect for growing panic attacks. That might be a separate video.